Mellow and high vibes were some of the words used to describe this episode of Paradigm Shift Radio. This is Skull Babylon, and you're about to listen to episode 73, in which we create another awesome opportunity to chill out together, get to know one another, and talk about a variety of paradigm shifty stuff. In addition to spending a few minutes praising our good buddy Steve Rogenbuck for his hard work, we also had Jody call in to share a recent UFO sighting, which segued us into discussing the idea of an energetic portal opening up at this current time, which could be utilized by us tapping into creative potential with more immediate proficiency. From there, we also had Chris on to talk about more stuff such as solar flares, radiation from the sun changing our DNA, a bit about the yuga cycles of consciousness, and understanding the concept of infinity in a practical way. Plus, as an epic bonus, we had Monica and her younger sister join us at the end of the show, as 9-year-old Maya shared some of her dream experiences. Paradigm Shift Radio is an awesome opportunity for us to connect and continue to grow as individuals and as a community. So whether you're a new listener to the show or not, we invite you to invite others to tune in, chill out, and get involved further. Browse the main website at ParadigmShiftCentral.com for more inspirational media, continue the conversations further in real life, and enjoy the flow. Thank you.
Is what it is. And what it is right now, in this current moment, is Paradigm Radio. And this, of course, is your co-host, your dedicated person who is here every week, being a part of this awesome project that you're a part of too. This is Brendan, and of course my call sign, one of my call signs that I go by, Skull Babylon. Some of you guys might know me by that name. Might have seen my YouTube once or twice, youtube.com/Skull Babylon, so feel free to check that out. And I'm still just posting the links in a couple pages, guys. Like, Facebook is not as fast as my mind, and these computers are still catching up with the idea that we just like instantly be like, information, go out. But since it's not quite there yet, that's where it's definitely important to be able to work as a team. So if you are listening to this right now, please continue to hold on. Okay, I'm just checking the live chat. Somebody's saying we got choppy audio. Going to need to address that, and if somebody can confirm, if I can get one more confirmation on the idea that there may be choppy audio, then that might be something we might have to address. But like I said, just got a really cool show tonight in the sense that I can't honestly tell you what exactly is going to happen, in the sense that anybody is going to be able to call in and talk about paradigm shifty stuff. So sounds like we do got confirmation that it is clear again. So let me know, guys. I mean, I'm watching the live chat. I'm keeping my eye on a few things here, and if you guys hear like weird glitches, just let me know, and I'll see if we can address it and stuff. So being able to give a shout out to everybody in the live chat, and of course, if you are in the live chat, absolutely, like, this is another awesome chance to connect with one another. So at any point, feel free to just drop in your Facebook account or even just your Twitter. If you got another YouTube channel, feel free to get that out there and encourage people to connect, because this show really is just like an awesome chance to connect, and it's not the only one, and that's something that I actually wanted to talk about real quick. This awesome guy named Steve Rogenbuck, and he's got his own website and his own adventure going on, and that's at livemylife.com. And I'm actually what okay, if there's got to be, because I just came out of his live stream, and he does one Spreecast just right before the regular scheduled time for Paradigm Shift Radio. So it's 7 to 9 p.m. on every Sunday, and we obviously run 9 to 11 p.m. So like, that wasn't really intentional, but it just really synced up. And again, he's a really awesome guy. You can check out a lot of his website. And I want to talk about him, but I also want to like share some of his poetry, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So if anybody is listening, or if Steve himself is listening, because I know he's got like 2 podcasts at once that he's trying to listen to right now. Actually, I'll just send him a link he may be listening. I'm just going to send him a quick question on Facebook, because I would love to have him on. Obviously, he's just like such an awesome guy. And I actually, like I said, I want to read some of his poetry, and I have his book, and I actually just want to be able to like flip to a random page, just kind of like tarot card style, and just read some of the stuff that he is sharing. So, you listening, bro? Man, bro? Bro. Anyways, I'm just sending a message to him on Facebook, see if he actually is listening, because if we can sync that up tonight, that'd be great. Because I mean, I've been wanting to have him on the show for a while, and it may make more sense since both of us, he is listening. Since both of us are just so busy, rather than actually like spending a week at planning this in an official sense, it would almost make more sense if this was a spontaneous thing that just sort of played out on the spot, and the people who are here are the people who are really going to be able to like dig it in that moment. And of course, that's why we want to get more people listening live. Like, okay, like, you can only okay, this came up in a conversation the other day, but like this whole idea of like YOLO, and Steve talks about this too, but like you can only do something the first time once. Like you can only do something in that moment once. And I was talking to my buddy, and he was like, well, with Paradigm Shift London, we have our open-minded discussion and meditation circles every Friday, and that's, of course, what this is about. So, like I said, ParadigmShiftCentral.com, or I mentioned that in the pre-intro, but, of course, that's the main website. And what it is, long story short, it's this project that myself and some buddies began 5 years ago that started with a single club in my college to create a space where me and my buddies could find other people to talk about weird shit and just talk about, like, cool information, theories, ideas, experiences, and to talk about the stuff that they weren't really teaching us in school. And I mean, whether that was just like UFOs, Sasquatch, like psychology, philosophy, the Matrix movies, and that in itself evolves into like really, really interesting conversations about things like dreams and dream exploration. And I really wanted to be able to share with you guys just some like recent reflection that I've had on just like how incredibly potent and amazing and useful our dreams are, because it came up in our last Paradigm Shift London meeting. So just reminding you guys, and I'll stop spamming you, but I mean, it's not really spam if you haven't heard it before, but the big thing that we want to do with people is to be able to be inspired through the fact that this community exists, and to think about starting a Paradigm Shift community where they are. And basically all that means, in a very basic sense, in addition to being a Facebook page, because that's like your portal where you connect people through, like it's this whole thing is all about like intelligent use of social media, and Steve knows exactly what I'm talking about. He was just talking about this in his last like Spreecast, and just like even Facebook, the way how it has certain algorithms and networks of friends and stuff. But anyways, by listening to this show, we want people to find out that there actually are a bunch of Paradigm Shift communities across the world. Like I said, I'm in London, Ontario, Canada, snowy London, Ontario, Canada right now, very snowy. And there are people all across the world. The newest one that just like came up is Paradigm Shift Ottawa, which is also in Canada. And there's a bunch like in America. Shout out to like Chicago, Michigan, and just like there's like multiple ones in Florida, and shout out to like the multiple ones in Texas. And I mean, you can check out the whole list at ParadigmShiftCentral.com/communities, and you can, and Texas, yeah, or I said Texas, that's right, yeah. Shout out to Chris, one of the admins from Texas. And I hope you guys can tell that like this is something that I'm pretty excited about sharing, because it is something that is really evolving, and that's where like a show like this is just an awesome opportunity for us to chill out, and for us to be able to just like bring each other up to speed, to continue to inspire people. Because as you know, if you've listened to Paradigm Shift Radio, sometimes we have guests on. Last week we had awesome guests, Rak Rosam, and we were talking about his experiences with ayahuasca and DMT, and that was like, great show in itself. Those conversations are always interesting, coming from like being a personal fan of Terrence McKenna growing up and everything. So, I mean, you have stuff like that, and then you have episodes like this, where I would say at this point, if somebody wants to call in, this is your reminder to, go ahead and call in. I mean, I'll be talking and stuff, because, like, there's stuff that I want to share with you guys, just, like, where I'm at, because as much as this show is about the project, it also is about what I'm up to, and I know people are curious about what other people are up to, and they want to actually hear, because that story is real, and I want to be able to share my story to help you understand your own, and to live your own, and to be inspired by the fact that, like, hey, I'm doing stuff, you can do stuff, he can do stuff, she can do stuff, we can all do stuff. And the simplest thing, like, okay, like, what's the goal? Like, what's the main goal with, like, all this stuff? Like, creating Paradigm Shift communities, creating all this media, like, all the, like, the movies through the website and everything like that, and like, doing the free hug tactics, the shiftivisms, like, even the buttons, and just health in general. What's this all about? Like, main objective, like the main island we are sailing towards is just like smiles. If we can simplify it just down to that, I mean, obviously if you're smiling, that usually means you're happy, and so I mean, it's kind of like, but then again, vice versa, you're not. But yeah, anyways, what I'm saying is something as simple as smiles. It's just like an easy way to just sort of like, why am I doing this again? Oh yeah, to like make people smile, because people deserve to be happy. That's a very fundamental belief, and it's something like my friend reminded of me just recently, and because we were talking, and she was talking about like how she was inspired and stuff like that. And she's like, I just really want to like make people happy, because people deserve to be happy. And I'm just like just like didn't even have to say anything. I was just like, yes, like that is. And so happiness, smiles, it's awesome stuff. And of course, like that's ways how we can get you guys synced up into that. So Yeah, I mean, Steve, if you're listening at this point, I will say, like, nobody else is in the queue. Steve, if you are listening, consider this, like, a key time to call in, or just whenever works for you. I know it's like we're both of us are keeping busy, and that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna actually read a quote that Steve put up, because it's something that I literally put up, like, the same thing within a very condensed version. This morning I woke up, and I had to leave early because it was snowing, because I had to go be Spider-Man for a kid's Christmas party, because that's part of what I do, right? So, like, again, so, like, if you want to, like, find out what I get up to, I can tell you about that. That's part of the story. That's part of just, like, this whole story and everything. But anyways, so when I first got up in the morning, I just put up a post. I put, "Patient perseveres." That was all I put, and that was, like, just something I had in my head. And Steve put up a post this morning, it wasn't this morning, no, it wasn't too long, it was a few hours ago, and I'm actually just going to pull that up. Yeah, okay, here it is. So actually, like, let me just read what he's saying here, and this is something that I do want to talk about, because I do want to talk about just, like, the fact that, again, patience perseveres. Like, let me just read what he has to say. So let me just take a sip here of my drink. And again, guys, like, this is kind of a long quote, but again, guys, if you want to call in, please feel free to call in. There's no one else in the queue right now, so I mean, I have no problem just hanging out with you guys. So, but let me read this quote. I'm just kind of, like, multitasking. Okay, so again, Steve Roggenbucken. So go to facebook.com/Steve Roggenbuck, and I'll post that into the live chat, and I'll be in the show notes, because all these episodes go up on YouTube, and that will be the last thing I'll spam you with. Go to ParadigmShiftCentral.com/PSR. Check out the full archive of all the episodes, and this is the 73rd episode, so there's a lot of content that you can take with you and plug into your MP3 player and have for, like, bus rides, and while you're walking around town doing your stuff, or, like, while you're vacuuming or shoveling the driveway. That's when I listen to podcasts. So, okay. So let me read what he wrote. At various intervals, usually after big publications, people tell me, "Steve, you're blowing up. Steve, you're famous now." But the truth is that every kind of success I've experienced as an artist has come very gradually and continues to come gradually. And I think that's almost necessarily how it works. If you have a message of much substance, when something blows up or goes viral, what spreads is usually surface. There's a flare of attention and excitement for a little while, but then, of course, it cools down. Maybe you gain 1 or 10 or actually 100 fans from the exposure. But if you're serious about building something that really matters to people long term, then just get back to work. So if you're an artist, writer, or activist, trying to spread something that really changes people's lives or society, I'm encouraging you to be patient. Go hard, but know that what really impacts is what you achieve in a year or 5 years, not in a day or 5 days. Which means you should probably do exactly what you love or believe in, because good luck pretending you care about something for 5 years. Okay, try to channel your ambition into creating your actual work and community relationships that will last, not into vague frustrations or seeking short-term gratifications like refreshing your notifications. Okay, thank you, friends. Let's keep working hard on what we believe in. So, end quote. That was, shout out to Steve. Again, check out his stuff. I'm going to post I'm going to spam his link into the live chat for his website. And you can check out his YouTube. He's got a bunch of awesome videos on there. And he's some would refer to him as radical, I would believe. But he gets your attention. And I know he's really reaching out to a lot of people. So again, shout out to Steve. Like, much love to what you do as well, brother. So I'd like to just sort of continue, from there. If Steve is listening, I'm just going to continue to honor him until, because I'm going to do, like, the quote reading thing from the book, and I'll do that. And let me just, So, I mean, you guys tell me, because at this point, literally, like, I don't know, if you guys are just, like, tired and chilling out too, if you guys just, I honestly, like, this is not, the point of the show is not to just have me talk. So at this point, I will say, like, let's get someone to put out their hand and offer something into the circle, even with the simple question of, introduce yourself and what is something that you're interested in learning more about. Because like this show is kind of a digital version of the open-minded discussion physical circle meetings that we have as paradigm shift communities. And through that sense, when we have a circle, usually we go around and we introduce people, and people just, I ask them that and be like, who are you, and like what is something you're interested in learning more about. So if you want to share that, feel free to, and if there's some ideas I can bounce back, then that's totally cool, and hopefully that will inspire more people to be able to call in. So again, let me just give a shout out to people in the live chat. There's 23 people in the actual live chat, which is pretty cool. And of course, it's not too late to share the show, so if you guys want to do that, it's kind of hard for me to multitask as much as I would ideally like to be able to. Kind of wish I had a few more clones, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I'm just kind of like, people are sort of like asking questions in the chat, I guess. What do you call it when you feel a spiritually induced buzz? Is that a type of alchemy or just imagination working very well? I get Neo Jesus. Oh, that's a sweet name too. It's spelled G-Z-U-S, Neo Jesus. I like it. Okay, so Steve, it's like I'm just talking to Steve. He's listening to the show, so if you can hear me. But Steve, if you're in the actual show listening to the link, just scroll down and the live chat will like spawn itself there, and you will just need to log in. You can log in with your Facebook, as far as I understand, or just you just log in with your Facebook. That would be the quickest way. But if you don't want to do that, this is for Steve and anyone. If you don't want to do that, then you can like create an account, which is also potentially creating a Blog Talk Radio show. That's sort of like what it sets you up for. But maybe that's something you want to do. Blog Talk Radio is an incredibly useful medium, and right now I'm using like the paid service where it's $40 a month, and it definitely helps in the sense that it allows us to host like 2-hour shows, be able to schedule them, and be able to get them to you guys accessibly and availably. So let me okay, if Steve is jumping in, then that's cool. So okay, someone has dialed in, and I will check who this is, and I would like to go back and just let me just read one thing of Steve's, and then I'm going to bring this caller on. So right now I'm just taking a breath and just going to open up to a random page in his book, and his book is called If You Don't Love the Moon, You're an Asshole: Poems and Selfies by Steve Roggenbuck. And again, you can get his stuff at livemylife.com, and it's spelled Live My Life, L-I-E-F, so it's an intentional typo. It's part of his style. So I'm just sort of like talking to you. Okay, random page, tarot style. This is the universe communicating onto itself. Oh, this is a long one. Okay. Well, it's just like one page. Okay, so let me see what I can do here. I love to see that many of my followers are dogs, but if I ever find out that you are not a dog in real life, or IRL, you will be in some shit. Sorry for the profanity, that's part of his quote. So, the most valuable skill now is being able to keep yourself in an active, deliberate use of the internet. I hacked my dad's porn Pinterest. There are forms of frustration and sadness that ultimately feel good to me because they clarify and strengthen my resolve to change my life. Watching Planet Earth, the polar bear was trying to eat a walrus and he failed. Now he curled up on his snow to starve to death. Slang for penis, boinana, Chicago skyline from the south is beautiful as frick as night. A woman in the student lounge just looked at my face and said, "Nice." Toast my bun, LOL. I'm on the dance floor performing my new dance, checking Twitter and social situations. I'm doing so many activities, LOL. I'm happy. I don't even want to sleep, but I'm tired than heck, so I have to. Wow, there's so many activities. I'm going to pee in the cushions of my own futon. Okay, so that's one page. Buy his book. It's awesome, and you're supporting him. And actually, you can get it for free online. I swear he like set that up. But I'm gonna bring this caller on, and if Steve gets synced up later, then we'll get a chance to talk to him, which will be awesome. So, gonna bring on caller from area code 585, and we'll go from there. So once again, if you haven't checked out Facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Radio, ParadigmShiftCentral.com, browse the site while you're listening. Tell more friends. We're just getting started. And caller from area code 585. Here we go. Hello, caller.
Hi,
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Is this Monica?
How you doing?
Oh, sorry. This is Monica.
This is Jody.
Jody. Oh, sweet. Jody. Hello,
Hi,
Jody.
friend.
Awesome.
Hi, I have really sweet news to share, and you know how I feel about talking on air. So if I sound a little frustrated, you know why. So just bear with me, and I'm also outside freezing my ass off, so I don't wake the kids up that I'm babysitting. So let me get this over with and get in and get warm. I really have a cool share with you tonight. This older child, 6 years old, comes home from a weekend with his father, walks in the house and starts going on and on about how they were outside looking up at the sky and they saw these two huge bright flashes of blue light in the sky, right? Followed by a rainbow of colors, like every color of the rainbow, and he's all excited and he's going on and on. And I was like, buddy, you know this portal yesterday that opened up, because I had talked to him about this thoroughly on Friday before he left for the weekend. He's like, oh yeah, the portal of love. I'm like, yes. I said, and thousands of people were meditating to raise the vibration of love on earth and to raise conscious awareness. And he's like, oh yeah. And I said, well, what do you think? He goes, well, I think it exploded into a rainbow of colors. And I had to call you and share. But anyway, I posted a little bit about this on Facebook, and his aunt called me, and she goes, you're never going to believe what happened. She goes, tonight I'm driving around with my girlfriend, and I looked up into the sky, and we saw these two huge bright blue flashes of light. And she's like, I'm so glad somebody else saw it. Ooh. I'm like, wow, that's just crazy. And I can't help but think that this portal that opened and the thousands of people meditating to raise the vibration of love on earth and to expand our conscious awareness, that had something to do with it. And the stargazer that I am, the sky watcher, I can't believe I didn't see it, but everything happens for a reason.
So you yourself didn't see something? That's what...
No.
Okay. But you told
Bummer,
the story
right?
well.
I know, but they did, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta call and tell them.
Well, and how long ago this happened, did you say?
The child, the 6-year-old saw it yesterday with his father, and his aunt saw it tonight with her girlfriend driving around.
Okay,
we're in New York, near Buffalo, sort of.
Sorry, you said the first group saw it yesterday, and then the two girls saw it just on a different time, saw it more than once?
Yeah, well, around the same time. He said around the time, nighttime, and she said that they saw it around 5:30 this evening.
Okay, I was just trying to determine whether there was two separate similar incidences, or just something that perhaps actually lasted for a duration of time, a little bit longer.
Right.
Than
No, definitely
it
was a 2 days difference, or a 1 day difference. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, because no, this is interesting. This is a good a case of a UFO in the sense of just what is this? Let's see if we can talk about it. Because
exactly.
I think the fact that it didn't just burn up right away. It wasn't just a flash. That would mean that it's not just debris coming through the atmosphere and exploding into the ozone sort of thing.
Right.
It seems, my best guess, if there wasn't much movement with them, there's always, I love the idea, and I'm just going to jump right to it, because of course you got the idea of physical UFOs, but then there's the idea of thinking of UFOs as actually the craft itself is actually an intelligence, is a being itself, and there actually could be a person inside of that. This is kind of different from an idea I've mentioned on the past, because of course you got the idea that well, actually no, it's not, because the whole Merkaba light body vehicle thing, you're familiar with that, Jody, to a degree? Have you? Yeah. So just for people listening, again, just the whole point of this show is to be able to return to topics, and this one's come up again, and I think it's because there's some sort of truth to it. If something can be destroyed by truth, or if it can't hold itself up over time, then it's not necessarily truth, so to speak. But if there's something to this, there's a reason it keeps coming up, and basically it's this idea that theoretical idea, a guy sitting meditating who may or may not be a little bit more multidimensional than us, and can sort of levitate, literally creates this divine technology that is activated within us that actually creates a ship, as crazy as that sounds, made out of light, that is in itself the shape of the Merkaba, which is in itself two triangles interlaced over top of each other. Right. So it's the Star of David in a 3D form, the star tetrahedron, with the top rotating one way and the bottom rotating another way, and this generating energy. And the whole idea of the Merkaba, the way how it turns into like this generator energy like pulsing orb type thing. I don't think that's like really any different from the idea of like what our chakras like are already doing all the time. It is again just another representation of like the same fundamental concept that is like replaying itself in different forms on different scales. It is like like the Earth itself, a planet has a Merkaba, has this shape around it, is in between the space of like two pyramids laced over top of each other, which in itself, like, just if we're talking about pyramids, then does that tie in with the idea why like the Egyptians were so interested in pyramids? And of course that's what the show is about, just sort of branching topics. But Jody, I'd love to just just on that, like, just feel free to jump in, or if you have like more questions,
yeah,
just sort of roll
I
the
just
conversation.
thought it was really like great timing that this has never happened in this area. I've been back in my hometown now for about 10 years. And there's been a lot of UFO sightings, granted, over the last several, especially recently in my neighborhood alone. We've seen big ones, little ones, multiples, right in my own backyard even, and it's just crazy. But, with the flashes and then the followed by the rainbow of colors, I've never heard of anything quite spectacular like that, and especially now since the portal had opened yesterday, and I just thought it was just really great timing that something like this would manifest itself, and I had to believe that there was a connection in there somewhere.
Yeah. So what is like when you say like the idea of like the portal opening, I think a lot of people would hear that and just be like, what? Like what? Like what? Like, people would just like instantly like ridicule that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just automatically assumed that the people that listen to the show would have some inkling on the fact that there was, I don't even know how to explain it in layman's terms.
Too, like, how do we explain that? Like, what does that mean to you is kind of my question. And how can we sort of like explain that to a way that like sounds like it at least makes a little bit of sense, and we can try that together.
Well, the way that certain planets are aligned opens up a portal every, I don't know if they said 100,000 years or so. It had been quite a long time. Actually, the most recent had been August 25th. There was a huge global meditation on raising the vibration of love on the planet because the certain planets were aligned in a certain way to form the Star of David, and it was just this huge, huge thing. And then once again yesterday, another huge portal opened, and there was another, global meditation movement to raise the vibration of love on the planet, move it away from the male power, money focus that the world had been driven on for a millennia that is now over. And now there's, this goddess energy reemerging. And it's because of this portal has so much to do with it, and I couldn't help but think that it was interlaced somehow with these activities that have been going on. I'm so cold, so I'm going to have to go soon, but...
Yeah, Jody, stay warm.
You get me going. I could talk about it all night, too, but... Yeah. Anyway...
Yeah, no, I mean, you're hitting on some pretty key stuff there. Like, even just the idea of, as a question, going back to the idea, like, if energy goes where our if energy flows where our attention goes, meaning if we think about stuff, it begins to like feed it nurtures that idea, whether it be good or positive. It begs the question that like, how impactful is the idea of a bunch of people doing these group meditations? And to be honest, like this whole like portal thing, until you told me, this is news to me. For me personally, I don't really it's not that I don't care, but it doesn't like, I don't feel it's too super relevant to my immediate like reality, so to speak. Even the idea of solar flares, a lot of people sort of they pay attention to the solar flares thing. And again, it's not that I'm saying that solar flares don't do anything, but if people are just like be like, man, my week's been really weird. Oh, there's a solar flare, that's why.
Right.
Where it's just like, not to say it's almost like an excuse, but because it for some people it totally ties in, and I think there is something to solar flares. There's actually a huge thing to solar flares, and I'm not going to lie. But at the same time,
it's like when people talk about the Mercury retrograde and their computers are acting weird.
That's a good example. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, oh, I actually deleted an important email. Damn you, Mercury retrograde. It's like, maybe you should just like not, learn how to not delete files or something. I'm just, again, it's just kind of a quirky thing that we as humans sort of do to just sort of like try to find a cause for sort of like everything. And and not to say that there isn't a cause, but we can sort of like assign one to it that like fits with our like what we want it to be, kind of thing. But again, like just there's a few ideas that I mean we could hit upon, but yeah, like the radioactive, the sun, like the solar flare thing. But I could mention that. But Jody, what's your status? Like, are you freezing your buns off or what?
I am, and I'm really excited to get your buttons. I'm so excited. I actually started making shift bracelets, and I'm just like, I am having these dreams of buttons, and there's, I shared messages with you about that, and I'm so excited, and I'll be sending you a message about that around the 1st.
Awesome. That's
buttons.
Dreams of buttons. That's to invite everybody, of course. Actually, I will say, for people who are listening to this show, of course, ParadigmShiftCentral.com/buttons. Those are like the super useful tools. And if there are people who are new, obviously there's people who are new listening to the show. Just to bring you up to real speed, real quick, like the buttons, Jody can tell you like how excited she is about them, but they're tools because they have awesome like consciousness shifting symbols on them, and they have the website for the ParadigmShiftCentral.com and also for the radio show, so you can give them to people and make them smile and like give them as gifts and interact with them and engage in conversations that otherwise are kind of like peculiar and socially like it's tough to get through that sort of layer, whereas like a button can like it's like a lance like through like these like social bubbles that we can just like step in front of anyone and just be like, here, I have a gift for you. What is it? It's a button. Oh my God, there's a flower life on that button. And then it's like, and it just goes from there. But the my friend just told me today, he was talking just like shout out to they know who they are, but he was talking about how he shared his Triforce button with a cashier at like a grocery store because he was wearing his Triforce button like from Legend of Zelda, which is in itself a very esoteric symbol. Like it in itself is like sacred geometry. It is like the fractal nature of reality, and just like symbolically it's awesome in relation to the Legend of Zelda story. But he saw that she was looking at it, they talked about it, and then he gave it to her, and that has the website on it, so theoretically that person could be listening to the show. And if you guys sort of connect the dots here, the whole way that this thing is like evolving is very, very interesting, very, very exciting, and very, very like the potential behind it is like super awesome. If you guys like can sort of see what's happening now, so the way how it works, even just if you look at the main website right now, the newest video that I have up is the video that I gave from a couple weeks ago, and there's actually some stuff I wanted to talk about, even just that, like how like 2 weeks ago I was sick. Like I got you guys will appreciate this. I got the flu shot and then I got sick like 3 days like a day after the flu shot, and then I got more sick.
That's exactly why I don't get the flu shot. Because it gives you the flu. No lie. True story.
It literally is. I asked the guy, I'm like the guy who's the doctor, I'm like, can you just tell me like what is the flu shot? And he's just like, well, it's like a dead version of the virus. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And the science behind that is quite simple. It's just like your body sees it, reacts to it, creates the antibodies, but the virus itself isn't actually like supposed to be infectious or whatever. So then it creates like the immune system buildup that will prevent it from infecting the system the next time. Scientifically, that does make sense, I believe. But again, like our bodies are still reacting differently. But I took one for the team. It was beyond a choice for me, and part of the reason behind that, I mean, for those of you who missed the news, shout out to my sister for birthing an awesome little boy into this world who is my nephew. Little Henry. He's almost like a month old now at this point, but he's gonna grow up to be another Jedi. So I'm looking forward to Uncle Skull babysitting the little guy. So anyways, that in itself, I mean, you guys can sort of see, like, I mean, as from the thing of where I was going to talk, there's like, okay, Jody, I don't want to just like talk about myself here because I won't want you to like
you're really good at that. Nobody minds
I'm more
either.
concerned about your well nature. So
well, no, wait, listen, before I go, I have to tell you something. Okay, Friday, this little one that I babysat, the 6-year-old, he has some violent tendencies. Okay, and he punched some little kid in the face on the bus, and we've been through this before, and I was so beside myself. I was like, dude, we're supposed to be loving our brothers and sisters, and like we have this conversation. I started crying. I'm like, I didn't even know what to say anymore. I'm like, that's it. Sit down. You're watching a movie. And I put on the Lucidity movie.
No way.
Yeah. I did, and he sat there, and for a little kid with huge ADHD issues, and he actually sat there and he watched the whole thing.
Oh my
that
goodness.
hardly even said a word, and he was totally involved and initiated in this movie. And every now and then he'd throw a couple words out like, "Oh, that's so great," and they really love each other, and that's how it's supposed to be. And thank you, I love you, I love you, I love you. You're doing this world a huge justice, and this child needed that. Like you have no idea how moved I was that he was moved, and I had to share that with you too. And it's all connected, and I love you, and I'm freezing, and I have to go in.
Jody, you're so awesome, and thank you so much for sharing
awesome.
that. Like that's like, I think I can honestly like that is like, if I could get if I could take that story and put it on a trophy, I would, and not just for myself, but like for everyone. That is like a huge thing to accomplish. That is awesome.
You accomplish huge things, and it's because of the work you do that so many people benefit, and especially this little guy. I mean, it had such an impact on him for probably his entire life. So,
I mean, yeah. Let's hope it lasted. It planted that seed, created a lasting impression. And
absolutely, I gave him a shift bracelet too, so he's making these things, and he's going to help me with the button project.
Yes,
I'm excited.
Get kids involved. Start them when they're young, and just like get them positive and get them loving and get them interested and get them excited and stuff too. That's wicked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take it to the next generation.
Totally. There's okay, Jody. Do you got to go inside? What's I'm enjoying this conversation. Is my point.
I am too. Actually, I'm gonna go get a jacket. Carry on. As you were.
Okay, I'll just sort of like talk while she's getting her jacket.
I was so excited to call. I didn't bring my coat out. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just gonna call, because if I didn't do it then, I wasn't gonna do it at all. I just talked to my friend. He's like, man, you sound like shit. I'm like, oh great, and I'm supposed to make this phone call, so I wasn't even gonna bother. But I got the phone and I'm like out the door.
We're good. This is awesome. This is high quality internet radio content right here, boys and girls. That's what this is. Yeah, definitely. But I was gonna say, like, speaking of kids, because there's a story for, like, honestly, I have a story for a lot of stuff, I guess, and again, that's part of what makes like this show really cool, is being able to share stories, and what Jody did, and this is a story that I saw someone else posted on Facebook. Derry, I believe it's Derry. It's a girl's name. Is it Derry? Anyways, she posted about how her young child, I believe is a girl, like, said that she looked at her, and she said she was pointing, and she said, like, fire, fire. And at first, like, she thought it was like, what, is like the house on fire or the curtains on fire? What's going on? And the kid was like actually pointing at her third eye. And the kid like did it more than once, and that was like this like crazy idea of like, because the whole idea that like the kids' veils of perception are actually, I think kids can almost, okay, somebody will know what I'm talking about when I say this. I think kids can almost see in slightly more DMT-esque vision, perhaps, so to speak.
That's a good way of putting it.
And, whoa, that is a crazy theory. Has anybody tested whether or not babies are producing DMT at a young age? Has this been figured out yet? Whoa, Strassman, man. Like, that's why we need to study this stuff. Yeah, but in that sense, when you sort of like have DMT sort of going into the system, it's a process where the veils of perception are pulled back, and what our body naturally does, and I think this is probably, okay, I'm just rolling with this theory here, but I'm thinking I'm onto something, and as our body gets older, basically, like, we create, like, this, like, resistance to the DMT producing itself, which means that the filters become more solid, which means that we can't see through people's skin, for one thing. Things don't look like Alex Gray paintings, and basically that's kind of what this child was doing. He was actually sort of seeing potentially like through the skin of who I'm talking about, and when it was pointing out her third eye, like, she and herself is obviously very aware. So I mean, so
you think like as we get older, the DMT that was in our brains like fizzles out, or?
It's not that the DMT fizzles out. It's just that the filter becomes stronger, or becomes like it runs at a different program. And when you think about it, I bet you this explains why we don't necessarily remember exactly like what things were like as a kid. And I think if we could actually remember what things were actually like as a kid, it would probably be like more psychedelic than just how we perceive reality right now.
I can remember being a kid way better than I can remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, believe it or not.
Really?
Because I had such profound spiritual experiences as a child. I was woken up to being an empath at a very young age. I spent my childhood in the woods barefoot, running around by myself in nature, when all the other kids were playing whatever in the street. And that's what I did growing up. I can remember many, like really profound spiritual experiences that I had. But as far as the last 10, 20 years, I can remember really big events, but nothing like I can remember when I was a child. So it's funny you brought that up.
That is interesting. Yeah. Like I'm just I'm talking to Stacy, who she's called into the show before, and she's got her young boy Diego, and she's just talking about like how just children in general are perceiving reality on like a different. They're perceiving reality different. Like they literally are, and I think that's part of like the operating system that they're sort of like running with and everything. But yeah, no, that's an interesting idea. So I'm gonna take a note of that and just sort of keep that in mind and add it to my perhaps work towards it as it builds up my fundamental ideas and create the foundation for perceiving my reality. And that's actually something I want to talk about because that came up in our recent Paradigm Shift London meeting. But another thing I was going to talk about, there's at least like 13 different things I could talk about all at once right now. Would it be crazy if the show was like 4-dimensional or something, and then it's just like
it
all of it up?
Be.
Yeah, I guess it sort of already is. Well, it's definitely like the internet. The internet is like 5th dimensional in a sense. So I mean, which is awesome. The way we're just able to connect with people and everything. But yeah, okay. Let me just think for a second. Thinking myself up. What was the most immediate thing that I was going to talk? Jody, are you okay? Do you have a jacket on?
I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
I'm rolling with it.
That is important. So. Okay, cool.
It's not as important to you as it is to me, and I'm good. I'm rolling with it.
Oh, it's important to everyone. So we got that. And if anybody wants to call in, feel free. Because I mean, right now it's just me and Jody. We're just chilling out here on the internet with some friends in the live chat and people listening across the world. And of course, feel free to share the show a little bit further, guys. It's still got an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, so backtracking a little bit. Okay, let me just hit across a bunch of ideas and just do this in linear order, the things that I didn't get into. The sun. The sun is releasing solar flares. These solar flares, the radiation in them is actually like part of how nature unfolds. Nature changes because radiation interacts with it. So when the Earth gets hit by solar flares, it is the Earth getting hit with like this radiation that is actually like evolving, changing our body, and in very subtle ways and not in negative ways necessarily. But that can be like this subtle thing where people get into the idea of like DNA changing, so to speak. So anyways, that's just an idea. Just an idea I wanted to put out there. After that, we got talking about some Journey to Lucidity at one point, and this is cool. Got to mention this. GoFundMe.com/Journey to Lucidity 2 is where you can go to start funding the sequel for that movie, and of course, that is the film that Jody was just talking about how awesome it was. And yeah, I just want to go back to how incredibly like honored I am at what she's saying. The fact that like this kid who was just like super hyper was able to watch this movie and not be hyper. To me, like
and
that
get something out of it.
And get something out of it. And it's not even like I'm just trying to like take full credit for like what was accomplished here, because I'm gonna watch that movie again soon. And honestly, when I do, because since the times I see it, I sort of disconnect myself from it in the sense that like I'm not watching a movie I made. I'm just watching this movie that reality created itself. And at one point, I was the conduit for that process. And now that it's happened, it's really interesting because I'm like seeing stuff in the movie that I didn't intentionally sort of like weave into it. That's sort of speaking itself in layers. So again, yeah, the awesome movie itself is going to be filmed at Lucidity Festival 2014. So if you go to GoFundMe.com/Journey to Lucidity 2, I'm going to post a link for that into the live chat as we speak. And of course, people can donate there. And if they do, they'll get access to the early viewing of the movie. And of course, you can get some bonus shift buttons through there as well. And yeah, like I'm really looking forward to it. Check out the first one. It's really, changing lives. And I look forward to like hearing how that kid continues to continue his journey to lucidity. So
yeah, I'll definitely keep you informed.
Sweet.
We've got a lot of work to do.
Yes, all of us working and playing. Oh, that was
Yay.
Hold on, gotta grab my notebook. That was a really cool thing that
came up in the meeting yesterday. Where is it? All my notes. It's like 6 pages worth of notes. Okay. This is one thing that came up. Somebody was like quoting somebody else. And I didn't even write. I only wrote down half of it. Yeah, okay. He's just like, it's like kind of like I have a dream. Like I want to see a world where people sing instead of talk, where people dance instead of walk, and where people play instead of work. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? So yeah. I like that idea. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, guys, there's a lot going on. Thank you again for tuning in. 20 live listeners in the live chat, and shout out to all the people, all those beautiful people in the future who are listening to this through Blog Talk Radio or through iTunes. And you can find the link for the iTunes if you haven't already at ParadigmShiftCentral.com/PSR. And of course, be sure to, I will remind you guys of this, and then I'm actually going to bring on another caller. I will remind you guys, please help share the show after it goes up on YouTube. Numbers for that generally it lasts a little while. Even the Rackreasm show, that show was bomb, and it's just like floating at around 130 views. And I feel like that show deserves to be heard more. And again,
I actually just listened to that again yesterday for the second time, and I got more out of it. And I highly recommend, if you're distracted while listening to these shows, to just go back. You can listen to them again at any time.
For sure.
Definitely got more out of it the second time around.
And sharing these shows is a great way to get people connected into like the big projects and stuff. Each show is like a portal, and like I said, like I'm not even just in that sense, but in the sense that the information that was being conveyed in the show by Rack himself is very valuable information, because it's like, again, what we're doing here, like we as consciousness are doing what we can to help wake ourselves up. So I would like to think that through the crystallization process of what we do here, by just sort of like focusing it towards once a week, when stuff comes up here on Paradigm Shift Radio, it is everything like happens for a reason, so to speak. So like theoretically everything, and not just on Paradigm Shift Radio, but everything can sort of be like taken as like holding some sort of like value that deserves to be shared. And of course that topic of ayahuasca is one that I definitely feel is information that is valuable, that if people sort of understand that stuff's going on, it'll help shift their paradigm and help shift our paradigm, and just continuing to move forward with that. So I'm going to bring on another caller onto the show. Last thing we'll mention, because this is the thing that I forgot to mention earlier when I went back to the buttons. If you if you order buttons and put it into your special instructions, just type in PSR into your special instructions. That's like the code to let me know that you found out about it listening to this radio show, and then I'll give you some additional bonus buttons into the next order that you get. So a little bonus there for everybody who's tuned into the show. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to bring on Skype caller Modest Muse, and we'll continue the show, and we'll go from there. And of course, if anybody else wants to call in through Skype, or call in on a regular phone. Long distance charges probably apply, because I think it's in like the west side of the country in California or something, and it's 347-539-5493, 347-539-5493. So gonna bring on Modest Muse onto the show, and we're gonna go from there.
Yes, you have a really great show, brother.
Oh, Judy, you can stay on. It's cool if you want to stay on.
Is it?
Okay. Sorry, Modest Muse, is this? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello. Did you want to be brought on?
Yeah. Wait. Oh.
Is this Tony Stark?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Chris?
I don't even know why I called. I'm freaking doing stuff.
Dude, I was just about to ask him. Like, Chris, do you know why you called in?
Well, I really. Nobody else is really calling in, so I'm like, I might as well just put a voice in. Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. I will just say, maybe just move a little closer to the mic. I think you're just a little lower. And
stuff. Yeah, I'm far away. Right now, I am in the process of gluing together.
Facebook.com/Paradigm Shift, Austin, Texas. No,
wrong city.
You remind me.
Houston.
Post the link. Houston. Yeah. So Paradigm Shift Houston, Texas, and we'll post a link for the Facebook into the live chat. It's already there. Facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Houston, Texas. Chris is one of the admins. So Chris, go ahead. Share with us whatever it is that you don't know that you're sharing. So.
Oh, well, right now I'm in the process of gluing CDs to each other and then hanging them from my ceiling.
Excellent.
Nice, man. Dude, CDs are awesome. When you reflect light off them, they create rainbows.
That's
My God.
exactly why. I wanted to be the best crystal child I could be.
That is a brilliant idea. Oh man, that's a great arts and crafts project idea. Wow, the things you learn about on Paradigm Shift Radio. So
Don't
Chris,
hang them from your rearview mirror of your car. You will get pulled over.
Really? Is that...
Yeah, you will. I've been pulled over for such an issue.
Wow.
I have.
There was a thing for that.
Oh, we
I guess
should
it's like
have.
a big... Go
We
ahead,
should
Chris.
have Paradigm Shift arts and crafts. We should
Sure,
have
man.
Bob
Yeah.
Ross. I could be the Paradigm Shift Bob Ross.
Oh, man, Bob Ross. Thank you. Segueing to Bob Ross. Bob Ross's end quote coming up. ... We can always carry this a step further. There's really no end to this. Bob Ross. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
I'll read more Bob Ross quotes throughout the show if you guys want. So. But yeah,
Happy little tree quotes.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, Chris, man, just go ahead, man. Like I'd love to just what are you interested in learning about right now?
Well, anything and everything. Well, okay, what I want to talk about is, earlier you were talking about the sun and stuff, which is really weird because, okay, so a couple of weeks ago, no, not a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago or whatever, NASA said that the sun's magnetic poles were going to shift, like they do every 11 years.
Well, the poles
are
shift.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, so basically, for the last couple of months, while the sun's been like, I've been feeling exactly like that. And if synchronicity will let it, it might shift on my birthday because it's set in a couple weeks.
And when's your birthday?
December 7th.
December 7th. Okay, so that's pretty soon.
And to make things weirder, basically for the past 3 years, I've had astronomical stuff happen on my birthday. Like last year, there was a meteor that came. A year before that, I think there was an earthquake.
Uh huh.
What?
Was there more? I wasn't sure if you.
Oh no, I don't know about anything else. Like I just.
Yeah. Okay.
I could,
Well, okay. Let's address this idea of the pole shifts because again, kind of like what we were talking about with like the idea of portals opening up. Yeah, and that was another thing.
Yeah, that
like,
was supposed to happen by the end of the month, by the way.
Yeah, and I still don't think we've painted a clear picture for if people are just tuning in. There's what are these crazy tinfoil hat people talking about here? Or just to be able to help give them some sort of answer in terms of the portals. I mean portals.
it's a great game.
There's another idea I have. It's different from portals, kind of interrelates. Okay, let me just put this out there. But, well, it's not, yeah, it's, okay. I think there's clouds in space of energy that we pass through, that the entire Earth moves through. We sort of go through these clouds. Yeah, I've always thought that would influence something. But yeah, as for the portal thing, okay, how the heck would I describe? Because I mean, portals is a metaphor. I talk about how the buttons are portals. The portals are a thing for one thing to get from something to another. The website is a portal. This radio show is a portal. Portals are something for us to okay, this is there's the answer. Portals are a way for us to access more of who we are. And the portal that sort of Stacey was talking about earlier where, it's not even just one person on the internet. Okay, I think that's what we need to do. We need to source where was this information coming from? Judy, what was this talk about the portal? Was this based on some sort of calendar that already exists or was this okay, I hate to say this, but was this just somebody posting one of those channeled messages that I see every single day and just about kind of the same thing repeated? Some people know what I'm talking about. But what was the backstory on this particular portal that opened up that you were talking about?
Were you talking to me?
Yeah, sorry, Jody.
I'm sorry, I was distracted.
I think it was one of those channel things because I remember reading it and it was somebody channeled Archangel Michael or something.
Keep talking. I'm gonna run some searches. Get to the bottom of this.
Yes, run some searches.
That's where I thought. I don't know.
What Jody, what did you hear? How did you hear about this portal idea?
I don't know. I follow the astronomy, closely. through Science and Metaphysics group on Facebook, and it's been popping up now for about a year that it's been coming near, closer, and then the August 25th one came and went, and there's a huge global, meditation movement that I was talking about, and so I've been looking forward to this, and I don't know how to explain it in layman's terms, so it's a good thing you're doing your research and you can tell everybody about it, without confusing them.
I want to check. Okay, people in the chat, help me out here. How like you guys can run more searches than me. I'm trying to figure out whether some people have articles on this, because I think, I guess I was just kind of like overlooking this, and I'm kind of like missing the obvious. But I mean, okay.
I'm gonna go look it up now.
Yeah, if people want to pull links on this. Okay, people talk about.
Yeah,
okay,
I'll pull it up for you.
I think a portal, opposed to thinking of a portal as like a cloud in the sky, like something you point to, I think a portal refers to an opportunity where the universe itself is aligned in some sort of geometric fashion, or things are in a certain position that energy can bounce around more fluidly, more in the way that it's kind of supposed to, and in that sense, more potential flows through, like the sort of the river changes. And as such, the flow of the water becomes like more direct in some cases, or it has the potential to be. Because I think portals in themselves, like there's big ones and there's small ones and there's ones that are present only if you really choose to acknowledge it. And going back to even like 2012, December 21st, 2012, that can be thought of as a portal. And a lot of people just be like, well, obviously nothing happened. But at the same time, people be like, well, did something happen? Like, well, how did you choose to make it? Did you see it as yourself stepping into a new part of who you are? At that point, did you choose either I'm going to like continue to be the exact same, or I'm going to continue to become like more of who I am, like more of my authentic self? So it's like this choice involved. It doesn't just happen like, and not to say nothing happens spontaneously, but then again, like what is spontaneity? But it is this idea that it's an opportunity. And going back to like this current idea of there's some people are pointing towards a portal opportunity that is happening within this time frame that we are in right now, of like within the month of December, and ... The whole Comet Ison thing is what a lot of people are connecting to this, and that is connecting to the Hopi prophecies. Okay, I think I just answered no question. If somebody pulls me up some data on the Hopi prophecies, I think that can actually be sort of tied in as what people are referencing for this whole thing. And the Hopi prophecies, I don't even know it yet. That's what I'm saying. Does anybody know anything about the Hopi prophecies? Someone is talking about they got a specific date, December 16th. So again, like this is this could be an idea of like if there's like some sort of galactical alignment, whatever the heck that means, or the planets passing through like a cloud, some sort of cloud. I think geometry does play out more than we realize, and like I said, when things are in a certain position, almost like mirrors with a laser, they can bounce off each other more successfully and sort of like string a set of combos of energy bouncing off each other or something. Like those are kind of ways how I can try to make sense of it. So yeah, I think an opportunity like this is just an opportunity for us to reflect, to say like, am I allowing myself to become more open to like experiencing what reality has to offer, and sort of like changing, like asking, questioning within, or however.
All right, I found it.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Jody, do you got something to share? Do you got something in front of you?
Yeah, I found one of the links. Okay, I'm just gonna read it to you. It says, "It is time to take action again. It is time to take the destiny of our world in our hands. Therefore, we will meet in groups, at large and small, as individuals and couples, at the time of the heliocentric Uranus-Pluto square." That's where obviously Uranus and Pluto make a geometric symbol above our planet, which would be the portal. On such a day, many of us will gather and visualize the event happening in the now, and will be thus creating a clear and harmonious channel of manifestation for the final liberation of the planet. Our visualization will support the plan for planetary liberation so that it manifests as soon as possible, as non-violently and smoothly as possible. We can do it. It needs to go viral. We need to reach as many people as possible so that the critical mass of people actually doing it is attained. I'm sorry. Hold on. It goes on with blah, 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 Facebook. The time of that, Ion portal activation signifies the peak of the Uranus-Pluto square, which is occurring in the 2012 to 2015 time frame. This is the most important astrological aspect of our times, and its meaning is very simple: revolution of light. The exact heliocentric movement or moment of the Uranus-Pluto square comes on November 23rd. At that moment, a very interesting heliocentric configuration will be taking place apart from Uranus-Pluto square. Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto will form a six-pointed star mandala around the Sun. The six-pointed star is the very same configuration that happened at the harmonic concordance in November 2003 when the Resistance hacked the etheric implant computer program. And it happened again at the Peace Portal on August 25th, which is what I was talking about earlier, this year, when we have collectively prevented the military invasion in Syria. Activation of the Ion portal is the peak moment of the turning of the tide. Due to the grid ratio, the light forces were passive and mainly responding to actions of the dark forces until now. From the Ion portal on, the light will begin to initiate action. At the moment of the activation of the portal, the galactic central sun will send an energy mini-pulse through the sun and through the six-pointed star mandala of planets. This energy pulse will be similar to what will happen at the event, but this pulse now will be most likely far less powerful. The pulse will send harmonious resonance waves through the solar system and might trigger the solar magnetic pole reversal, which is what your dude was talking about. The galactic mini pulse will be transmitted through the galactic mini pulse will be transmitted through Ion and Iona, a cosmic pair of twin souls, which played a very important role when they contributed greatly towards the formation of the galactic central civilization of light millions of years ago. The purpose of Iona now is to spread goddess consciousness from the galactic center towards less developed planets in our outer spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy. In galactic mythology, she is pictured as the winged goddess, which is what we were supposed to envision when we were doing our global meditation yesterday. The purpose of Ion is to help overseeing the turning of cosmic cycles in the galaxy in harmony with the 25,000-year pulse of the heart of the galactic central sun. It's almost over. He will be overseeing our Ion activation on planet Earth. This activation will signify the shift of the ages. Shift, baby, shift. For the time in our history, a direct connection will be made between the physical plane, the third dimension, for everybody out there, and the cosmic atomic plane, the 11th dimension, on planet Earth.
Whoa.
This activation will also be the trigger point of the new Renaissance. Therefore, we will be having our main activation and blah, blah, blah. You are more than welcome to join us. I sent you something about this, actually, to your timeline with all of your activities you do.
Oh, did you really?
You probably
did you post this on my wall?
I did.
Like this link? Oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to find it, and then I'm going to share it in the live chat because I know people are asking for it. How long ago when did you share this? Just I apologize for missing it.
Probably
a couple days ago?
Whenever.
I'm running through. I'll find it. I'll find it and I'll take care of it. Yeah, okay. So that's obviously like a lot of information.
It is a lot of information. I can actually send it to you right now if you need it.
If you can, and I'll post it in the live chat. I think with information like that, it's there's a lot of positivity behind it. At the same time, I think you just have to be like careful with sort of like, believe what is it that you choose to sort of like believe, so to speak. One thing that I've always said is this idea of like, see everything, believe nothing. Try working with that philosophy for a little bit. See how far it takes you. Very interesting. And then the idea again that like ideas, like you can see an idea without having to believe it, in the sense that if you have a fundamental idea, it is something that helps create the foundation for your reality, yet it in itself could completely radically change or be like pushed aside within an instance. And since it's not a belief, you would be able to like let go of it. Sometimes we have a hard time letting go of beliefs. Ideas are something where it's like that, I think, represents the relationship between like that concept and ourself. So yeah, like a belief is something a little bit more intimate that we hold with us, whereas an idea is something we can let go of. So again, like a lot of the ideas that came up in this, just see them as that, see them as ideas. I mean, I would have to like read it again, and I think there's like a lot of stuff there. Yeah. One thing I was going to talk about, because there is some sense to this. Like, this isn't just super crazy, like, woo-woo sort of thing. In the same way that I was talking about, like, this is consciousness trying to communicate with itself. This isn't somebody trying to just, like, fool a bunch of people. It's like, I don't think, not to say that never happens, but that's not necessarily what this is. Now, not to say, like, that this person has it 100% right either. So in that sense, like, it's valuable to just, like, look at the information being provided just to sort of get an understanding of like what is happening, because I think yes, most definitely we are in a time of radical transformation and change, and obviously people can feel that now. Like people like a person was asking me this the other like earlier this afternoon, and it's kind of relevant. They're just saying, you know, like do you feel that there's just going to be like some sort of like some sort of that shift, that like radical shift? And I was like, you know, like this shift is like a gradual thing. It's not like turning on a light switch. Like what is happening with the shift is something that has been happening since the beginning. And what it is this like repetition of cycles, and even in the Journey to Lucidity, you know, I mentioned this, like we as consciousness are constantly like forgetting and remembering. And what is actually mentioned in the thing you were talking about, it talked about like how it's relative to like a pulse, and I think that in itself is very key. Something I would take from what was said there and sort of use it as a way to like create a fundamental idea for my foundation, is this idea that as like consciousness, we go through these cycles, and the yuga cycles is kind of a term that some people like have to describe this, and it is this process of like consciousness rising.
Check your timeline, because I couldn't get it to go to the thing.
Okay.
It actually just kicked me off and sent me back to my wall, so I had to send it to your timeline.
Well, I see it now. Okay, so perfect.
Okay.
So again, so the yuga cycles is just like this basic concept of reality, like for like consciousness rising, consciousness being awareness of ourselves and our connection to reality as a whole, and consciousness like falling out. And this has happened numerous times. This is just one of my fundamental ideas that makes sense for me. It pieces in with the puzzle quite nicely. And where we are right now, we are just like on this point where it is rising again, but it is doing so in like the fastest amount of time that has ever happened. Meaning that in the past, like a frequency wave, like each time, kind of like a spiral getting closer in on itself, it becomes like shorter and shorter, and it's almost exponentially shorter. Whereas in the past, it would take like 5,000, then it would take 500. Now we're just like literally in this like small space where what is happening within like 5 years is just like amazing. And those of you who have obviously experienced this last decade, you know, like there's something that is just like continuing to build. And not to say, for me personally, like I got a good feeling, especially since 2012 passed, I got a good feeling that like, I mean, I'm sticking around for a while. Like I see like 2025, I see like 2030, 2040 and stuff like that. A lot of people like leading up to 2012, they were just really focused on that. But now that we've passed that, now that we know that we're still okay, we can really just sort of like invest, see ourselves, like how can we invest in creating this world? And it's this gradual thing. And again, going back to what we were quoting Steve on earlier in the show, it's this patience perseveres idea, where like if you love something, stick with it. If you want to see like radical change, don't expect it to just like occur in a single day. And this opportunity with this whole Hopi prophecy, like, I mean, Hopi prophecy isn't what, I don't know if that would be the right term. Hopi's got a lot of prophecies, I guess. But the whole, like, Comet Ison thing, the portal thing, and the portals just being an opportunity for, like, this geometric alignment that is happening right now. And that's, like, an astrological thing. And astrology in itself is such, I think astrology makes sense. You can almost think of astrology like, I mean, again, like you can almost think of like the planets as like mirrors, and when they align in a certain way, a laser aligns in a certain way, and when that happens, a pathway is created for information to sort of like flow through more fluidly. Whereas like when this pathway isn't synced up, and it's not supposed to always be synced up, then our like learning process is different. And I think our learning process is made quite interesting and intentionally done so, where we sort of like go through like pulses, where like additional stuff, so like experience comes to us, like more experience, you know, and interesting experience, like experiences like with people, relationships with people, just like learning new things, offers awesome opportunities, awakening to synchronicities, potentially seeing UFOs, like remembering your dreams, like just becoming more aware, and even just really taking it a step further and just like working towards developing consistency with your practice and making like routine and ritual and just creating an opportunity where you are intentionally choosing to grow yourself with the idea that like now is a good time to grow it. If this portal's open, think of it as like bonus XP opportunity. There. That is the simplest way I can put it. That is the simplest way I can put it. Like bonus XP, like, you know, whether it's like 2 times XP or whatever you want to look at it, depending on your ratio and stuff. Like now is the time to gear up and go questing, and yeah, just like it's you guys know what it is. So Chris, you know it.
I could be putting CDs up in my room to reflect the energy, and it just, so I'm getting what, like a freaking 200 XP bonus? Okay.
Yeah, man, just bouncing all that like power light around the room and stuff like that. Yeah, man, just like, yeah, that's a cool thing. If people want to do that, sort of like turn your room into like this like awesome, like make a sacred place. You can create like an altar, and an altar is just can be like a table where you just put a bunch of cool stuff on it. I mean, for me, it's like the top part of my computer desk, and it's got like all these trinkets from like throughout my history that I've collected over the years, and like a couple pine cones and pyramids and like plush toys and yeah, a bunch of really awesome stuff. And like that in itself is just me sort of connecting to myself every day when I'm in my room. And yeah, just like a little tidbit there. And again, like do practice like meditation, do that. We can talk about that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Lots to talk about. We do have another caller. I would like to be able to bring them on, and apologize for keeping them on the hold a little bit there. Or actually, pretty sure they want to come on because they don't have themselves queued up. So I'm going to go out on a whim and bring them on. Anyways, caller from Skype, Church 1892. Going to give you just a couple more, 30 seconds. If you don't want to be on, then just like remove yourself and then call back in, or stay on and I'll bring you on. But yeah, like, I don't want to just like not ask you guys what your thoughts. Like, did that make sense what I was going on about there? I mean, I'm just babbling my skull, you know how it is. Like, it just happens. I just go and it goes and it comes out. So
you're doing
but I try
really,
to make
really
sense
well.
You know, I just want. That's what I want to do. I want to like make sense of stuff. I want to make sense of like all this like crazy, like what would easily be sort of disputed as just like woo-woo type stuff. Like I think there's a way to understanding this. There's a way to understanding this reality. So multiple ways. So truth is all encompassing, and what we experience is multiple perceptions of that truth through different lenses. And yeah, that's kind of one way to think of it. So anyways, I'm going to bring on Mike, who is calling in from Skype, and we're going to go from there. So, Mike, if you're ready, we're going to bring you onto the show. Here we go. Hello.
I pretty much came on Skype. Hello.
Mike, can you hear us? Is this?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, Mike. Give us a sound test, or just like say hello and where are you calling from?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah. I'm just calling from Kansas. Went on Skype just because I wasn't able to get on to the website, so I was listening to that.
Okay. So were you intending to be brought onto the air?
Not intentionally, but
okay. Well, it did happen. So you're welcome to add in some thoughts. Yeah, it happened. I was gonna say, Mike, if you could just move yourself a little bit closer to your mic, just to bring up the audio a little bit, that would help. Thanks. But yeah, sorry, Mike. Okay, so let me just ask you then, like, is there anything that you feel you want to bring to the show?
Nothing in particular. Like I said, I was pretty much just trying to listen through Skype because I wasn't able to get on through the website.
Okay. So do you want to stick around, or should we just like put you back onto the listening side thing, and then we'll just keep going?
You can just keep going.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks for dropping by, Mike. Appreciate you being here. So we'll see you in the live chat, dude. Cool. All right. So yeah, I got 37 minutes left in the show. Shout out to 24 people in the live chat as it is right now. And let me just check what's going on in the live chat, but also let me just check in with our friends Chris and Jody. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Space is weird.
Space is weird. This is weird.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wait. So here's the thing. I've been fighting with myself a lot, and now I've just come to the realization that maybe nothing is true because I've been fighting with myself about this. Okay, so the moon landing.
Yes, the moon landing.
There's like a lot of evidence on both sides that it did and did not happen. I just don't even. All
right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're gonna like channel Stanley Kubrick, and we're gonna bring him on the show. That was.
I'm gonna get my crystals out. Hold on. Light a candle.
Hold on. I'll sacrifice a Clockwork Orange CD.
Yeah. I have something to say about that. If you're sort of, I'm sure you have your own sort of research on that as well. And we've never really talked about the moon landing on the show, sort of the idea behind it. But I will say we do have another caller from area code 715. I don't have you queued up right now. Caller from area code 715. If you're listening, press 1 on your keypad to let me know 100% that you would like to be brought onto the show. But yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about the moon landing for a little bit. 'Cause, I think that's okay. They do want to be brought on, so we may or may not talk about the moon landing. We can just put that off to the side for now. But let's see.
I met Buzz Aldrin in my middle school when I was younger, and he said he definitely went, and he passed around a moon rock and talked about seeing alien spaceships and other life forms up there, and that he wasn't. Yeah, Buzz Aldrin. He was at our school when I was little. And said that he was indeed there, and he passed around the space rocks and told us that there's life out there, and everybody was all freaked out, and the teachers or whatever, they were trying to get him to divert from talking about other alien life forms and spaceships, but he went on and on and on about it. It was pretty cool.
That is I find that hilarious because I know Buzz Aldrin has been known to do that even in today's day and age, and this is obviously back in the day when the experience was still fresh. So either Buzz Aldrin has been intentionally made crazy, but then they wouldn't want to. No, he's. We
all have been.
Yeah, obviously he's seen some stuff. He's been to the moon, and that's okay. I do want to talk about the moon stuff. I think it's just a really interesting topic, and yeah, the fact that I think we have been to the moon. I think the moon landing video also was faked. That was my thing, and I do think Stanley Kubrick made a fake version of some moon landing footage. They probably got other people to help, but they also went to the moon.
That's smart. Okay.
What's that, Chris?
I never considered that. They could have actually been to the moon, but they faked the whole the showing.
Yeah. Yeah. In that sense, you would almost think that they faked it before they went, just in case they went there. And it's just my God, we can't show this. Turn the cameras off.
Exactly.
Just don't show that there. Don't show that city on the other side of the moon. It's just
that's what I was gonna talk about. There's all these moon bases and crap all over there, and I was if they actually went there, then what?
Well, even going back,
one of the things is that we went there, and the reason we didn't go back is because there were alien bases there. They said that was their territory.
We were warned not to go back.
Yeah, we were warned.
Yeah, we were trespassing.
All right.
It's you goddamn humans, get off my lawn. Well, let's get out of here.
Who invited you?
Texas style, what? Aliens are worse than us. Anyways, I'm gonna bring on this caller, and there's some. It'd be fun just to talk about some moon landing because I'd like to share with you guys. So I did a presentation about how Stanley Kubrick made the moon landing footage. When I was in college, I did that in front of my class to intentionally shift some paradigms. It was hilarious. I still remember my buddy when I introduced it, and he was just what? It was hilarious. Anyways. Caller from area code 715. We are going to bring you onto the air, and whether it's the moon landing or anything else, we'll go from there. So here we go. Hello, caller. Can you?
Hey guys.
Hi, caller. Is this Bryce? No, it's not. Yes, no. Sorry.
Jordan.
This is Jordan. Oh, okay, cool, man. All right, Jordan. Just remind people where are you calling from, and what would you like to bring to the show?
I'm from Somerset, Wisconsin, and I had a couple topics, just rainbow of existence and how you could relate emotions to colors, and then how emotion makes music, and then music goes down even farther to cymatics, but how it starts on a higher level, where the spirit science normally talks about what do they call it, the flower of life, as like the crux of existence, but really I would think that's more of a branch where it comes from, like, goes emotion, music, cymatics, and cymatics is like the shape, and that's a lower level, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, I hear you saying. You got, like, keep going if you got more that you want to talk.
I don't know, like, I think if you look at animals, they're on a higher level, they kind of represent all the different symbols, like you got the bird on top, and then the snake on the bottom, and then like the monkeys are in the middle. It's kind of like the heart level, where the birds are the higher perspective, snake is just the more pure physical energy, and then the monkey has capable of both realms. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain sometimes. But
yeah.
Anyways,
my thoughts, just going back to what you were talking about. The flower life is like super fundamental. I think the flower of life is like sort of like a frozen version of like what the pattern has the potential to sort of be. And I think like what the pattern is at its very core is just like an expanding circle, like a ripple. And like that ripple is like you said, it's like emotions are creating that ripple, and it's sort of like through that, like, what do you call it, etheric or whatever. It's just like that watery space that we exist in general. Like, that's going back to the whole idea, like there's no such thing as empty space. We actually exist in an ocean of energy all the time, so to speak, and the idea that it's like multi-dimensional in the same sense that it's like it's not just water, like it's like water and like crazy different kind of water and like this other type of substance and light, but it's all light in different forms. And I don't want to get like too, like, it's dimensions are interesting. I think there is a practical way to talk about like sort of theories and stuff behind dimension, and I think that is kind of like something that you're like sort of talking about, like especially even just hitting across the point that things begin like from the spiritual side and crystallize into the physical side. Like that's basically like, not like, just explain to me, is that kind of like how you, is that what you're sort of hitting upon?
Yeah, exactly. I get really nervous before I call, and it makes me jumble my words, but I just got to give it to you, man. You're really eloquent with your words.
Oh, man, like, I thanks for calling in, man, because, just to remind everybody, like, this is just, like, all practice and stuff, but, yeah. It's definitely, it's tricky, like, seriously, it's tricky, man. It's tricky talking about all this stuff. It helps to be able to have diagrams in front of us. Like, I remember, like, okay, just putting it out there to all of us here, like, do you guys understand, like, infinity? And do you guys remember when infinity didn't make as much sense to you as it does now, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, my next question
it's kind of hard to comprehend infinity since it has no ending. It's like kind of trying to understand God or a God figure. It's how can you understand something that is so beyond your realm of comprehension? It's just like infinity. How can you comprehend it when it's infinite?
You put it into
never ending.
I think there is a way, but Chris, go ahead.
You put it in like a bunch of metaphors so you can understand it better. Like, I think of God or like the source of all creation as like this main little root, and then it branches out into a tree, and then the tree branches out and has branches, and the branches have smaller branches, and the branches have leaves.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, just in a different metaphor. Like the idea that the way how I can best explain infinity and best, like, the way how I did understand it is when you take something super simple, and it works really effectively with this one in particular, something super simple like the Star of David. Everybody knows that. So again, going back to like the Merkaba thing we were talking about earlier, like take a triangle, draw a triangle, then draw another triangle, like overlapping, so it's like this six-pointed star that we commonly recognize as like the Star of David in a lot of cases. But that shape can fit inside of itself, because like the shape that's created inside is this hexagram, and the six-pointed star fits inside this hexagram. And the fact is that you can take this and then you can like shrink it and you can put it inside it again, and then you can shrink it and put it inside again, in the same way that you can expand it and put it bigger in the same way. And this is actually like someone in our Paradigm Shift London meeting was talking about this. They were just like, I don't really understand how, like, their perception was that this reality is really complex. Therefore, there must be some sort of creator that is able to comprehend that they themselves is more complex since they created something this complex. But I think my way of sort of challenging like that idea, not even challenging it, just sort of clarifying it, is this idea that like the complexity at its root began with the utmost simplicity, and that simplicity is just like this expanding circle, this ripple. And when you take those ripples and you place them in different locations relative towards each other, it creates like these specific patterns. And then like those patterns, like life itself is like the byproduct of the inevitable, so to speak, in the sense that life itself is starting with like the simplest thing. How the heck could life be anything but a circle expanding out? How the heck could it be like, I mean, well, I guess you could argue, like, could it be a triangle expanding out? But then again, I guess it's anything more than just like a two-pointed line. Like, that is the one thing that, you know, it extends in opposite directions. But a triangle would actually like sort of like next step towards, actually, well, yeah, okay, no, it makes sense. Like, it would almost be a triangle. And then as you add more sides to it, eventually it becomes a circle. But again, going back to the simple idea, and I'll just let you guys jump in, is the idea that, like, the smallest patterns that appear within nature are also the exact same patterns replicated on the largest scales, meaning that reality doesn't have to reinvent itself. It just builds upon the exact same system, and then the complexity builds itself up in layers. And that's where we get all this idea of, like, you know, like, we are like people within like a planet, and our body has like cells, and our cells have like atoms, and it's all these systems within systems within systems. And it's through this layering process, which is also like relative to our own psychology. Our psychology is layered in the same way sort of thing too. It's just like this whole idea that infinity, what infinity is, it is the potential for reality to exist on the smallest scale and the largest scale using the same fundamental patterns on both ends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like the simple versus complex.
Yeah, simplicity creates complexity. Yeah. Cool. We did it, guys. We explained infinity.
We explained infinity. All right.
Yes. Let's end the show. We're done. No.
We're done.
So, yeah. What do you? I want to hear from you guys. Yeah. What do you guys? Whoever.
Yeah, like that completely makes sense. But one of the like weird, hard-hitting things that I saw like in the past couple of days, like I saw a picture. And it was like as above, so below. But in the as above thing, it was a bunch of comets like coming into a planet. And then whenever it said so below, whatever, it was like an egg, and there was like a bunch of sperm. And I was like, oh, holy crap.
Yeah. So like everything is a metaphor for everything.
I know, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah, and then we were talking about that last hangout in Paradigm Shift Radio. We were talking about like the idea of being able to see yourself in anything. Like, can you see yourself in a tree? Can you see yourself in a dog? And you know, that's
a lot easier than trying to picture what infinity is like. I think, well, for me anyway.
But then it gets challenging because it's like, can you see yourself in a rock? Think about that for a second.
Well, absolutely, because we're all made of the same energy. We're all stardust, you know. We're all made up of the same stuff, so it's not that real.
Sometimes I'll go up to something, and I'm really sensitive to energy, so I'll just feel the energy, and I'll really resonate with it. This tree is me. I understand this tree.
Yeah.
I am this tree.
Yeah, and then like I'm kind of like that with people too. I don't know.
Yeah, and at that point, I think it just really helps us psychologically, like not like allow our lives to be guided by getting frustrated. Like it's almost pointless to get frustrated. It's kind of like how I see it. Like it really doesn't get you further. Being like frustrated. I mean, you can be motivated and you can deal with challenges. That's kind of different. But like complaining about things and being like, man, why is this going on? I'm not going to deal with this. Instead of just like dealing with it or sort of like deciding that you want to change it or just doing something. Like, yeah, I mean, just again going back to the idea of like being able to see yourself in everything else. But I mean, that's, you know, like I said, when people get like a paradigm shift button, if they see that first video, even if the only thing they do is go to paradigmshiftcentral.com, scroll down a little bit, and watch like the new video that we got up of like awakening within the matrix in 5 minutes, even if they watch that, for those of you who've seen it, like, you know that, like, the main thing that I'm emphasizing is that, like, a key component, a key fundamental idea to creating the foundation for our reality to be motivated to make change is being able to see the oneness within everything in a practical sense. So I mean, even if they just see that one video, like, I think that is huge. That is, like, you know, that's some, like, 2.0 stuff right there, Techno Ninja style. So yeah.
So
what's that, Chris?
I said level up.
Level up. Boost, boost, boost. Wolf. We only live forever, right? So I wrote that yesterday on, like, this, like, art mural thing. So it's cool. Anyways, again, I want to hear from you guys. Other ideas that you guys got. What are some other things that you guys want to talk about? Things you want to, you know, you're interested in learning more about. Just questions you might have. See what we can do. Craft ideas, Chris. Whatever you got.
God, don't get me started on craft. Oh, like, I mean, we could have, like, a paradigm shift craft thing, little craft hangout.
A little craft hangout. Bring your construction paper and your scissors, boys and girls. Maybe a little glue stick with some sparkles.
Like tetrahedron.
And draw some sacred geometry and create some stuff.
No, and tune in next week to build your own Large Hadron Collider in your backyard.
Sick, dude. That'd be awesome. Like a mini version of it. It could be done.
Like a reactor. Dude, you know how easy it is to make a Tesla coil?
How easy is it?
It's like maybe 5 out of 10.
In terms of, like, the fact that you've already made an Iron Man suit. So no exaggeration for everybody who's listening to this. Yes, Chris here has made an actual Iron Man suit. So.
Oh yeah.
People might think I'm joking, but I'm honestly not.
That's really cool.
I'll post a picture in the chat right now. I'll post a link to a picture right now. Let's go.
Yep.
But I mean, that's another thing. You can literally create whatever it is you want, folks. Just do it.
So that's all, folks. So. All right, let me see. Still don't have. I mean, if people want to call in, if people still want to call in, feel free to call in. Monica, feel free to call in. Just gonna, like, put you on the spot there. I don't know. She calls in. I'm sure she's not too busy. So, anybody else, feel free to call in, though. Of course, we got about 19 minutes left. We can wrap this up with a meditation. I mean, we can do that soon if nobody else is gonna jump in. I'm totally cool, sort of leading you guys through a meditation. We had some dope meditation Friday. Like, I was leading that one too. It was good. Got some good feedback on it, and using the singing bowl, opening ourselves up to, like, the actual vibration of the singing bowl, and it's, like, attuned with the brow. So, like, people were commenting on how you can actually, like, feel the vibration in the brow. So it's a chance to become viscerally aware of our subtle energies. The fact that our body is not just physical, and energy exists, like, more than just, like, the reach of our hands and our thoughts and emotions. And again, the portal that we're talking about, the big portal, whatever this thing is, this idea, this opportunity, this galactic alignment, this chance for us to level up and get some more bonus XP. Same fundamental idea of the portals that are like the chakras in our own body. Theoretically. It's sort of something where energy sort of flows through. So think about it that way. But I'd love to do group meditation with you guys. So if you guys want to do a group meditation real soon, those 22 people in the live chat, type an 1111 into the live chat. I'll be able to gauge from that whether or not we're going to move into our meditations for soon, and whether or not Monica's going to call in. So, okay, Monica is calling in, actually. I think her and her sister are calling in. Sweet. That'll be cool. She's got a little sister. And it's cool because, like, her little sister's been listening to Paradigm Shift Radio for, like, a really long time too. Actually, this will be cool. It'll be cool to have Monica's sisters in once she gets called in. Okay, cool. Here we go. All right, Monica, I'm gonna bring you and your sister on, and her sister's name is Maya. So this is Monica, one of the Paradigm Shift community admins for Paradigm Shift Chicago, and we'll post a link in the Facebook page. So here we go. Hey guys.
Hey everybody.
Hello. Hi, Maya.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Maya.
Hi.
Cool. Well, Monica, just remind us, or rather, Maya, how old are you? She can hear
I'm
us
9 years old.
You're 29 years old? Wow, that's old, Maya. You've seen some stuff. So. All right. Well, what do you guys? Seen some things. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you got to share with us here tonight?
Oh, Boo, how about you tell them about the dream you had recently about being a grandma?
Oh, yeah. The other day I had a dream. I went to sleep late that night, and then I had a dream. I was in a house. Somebody rang the doorbell. I opened the door, and these kids started hugging me. And then I realized I was old and had gray hair, and they kept on calling me Grandma. And then there was this adult coming in, and they hugged me and said, "Hi, Mom." And I was kind of creeped out. I didn't know what to do. And I realized I was on a couch inside this house with lots of old picture frames and old stuff, and it was kind of weird. So then I don't know if I had something else with the dream, but then I think I woke up, or I just forgot whatever happened there.
And you remember that you knew that you were the old lady, right?
Yes.
You for sure knew that.
Yeah.
Crazy dream.
Trippy kid's dream right there. That's what that was.
I thought that was pretty interesting too, because our great grandmother passed away recently, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how? Let me ask Maya then. Maya, how did this dream make you feel?
It felt kind of nice because they were hugging me, giving me kisses, and it felt nice having a nice family.
Future family too, huh?
Yeah.
Possibly future family.
It might very well be your soul family, Maya, because I believe that sometimes people can reincarnate to this planet, to the same families, and you might have been remembering your soul family.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That is.
Yeah.
Maya, do you usually remember your dreams?
Yeah, sometimes they're like really weird that it's always stuck in my head, and sometimes I think about it at school.
Does Monica sort of like help you talk about them and make you think that like you're not super weird for having super weird dreams?
Well, he's asking you.
Well, she does help me think that it's not weird having those kind of dreams. Sometimes my other sister has weird dreams too about our pet hamster and stuff. And sometimes they're really funny. So,
but Maya's had experiences too where she's seen a lot of family members who've passed away in her dreams too. So we usually talk about those often.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. Even the idea, I mean, just, on a very serious note here, the idea that those who have passed on have the opportunity to communicate with loved ones through their dreams. And from where they are, they would almost have an idea of how receptive certain people are. Like, would you go into, like, just as an example, like your dad's dream or something, who, like, may or may not have the best dream recall? Or would you go into the daughter's dream, who, in this case, like Maya does remember her dreams, and in that sense is able to actually like experience, like be able to pass on some sort of message just to the family, or just some sort of reassurance, some sort of acknowledgement that there's still like a presence there. Yeah, that's just interesting. And let me just ask you, Maya. I'm just reading some of our friend Stacy is talking about her son Diego, who has been on the show before. He talked to Ralph Smart when had him on back in the day, and he was talking about once how he's had dreams about being from a cloud city, and that's where the babies come from. And he said that they watch us and they pick their parents. Maya, does that sound familiar to you?
I'm not sure. When I was in my dream, I did see lots of clouds, but I'm not sure if it was something like that, but I did see clouds. Okay. And yeah.
And I remember when she was explaining the dream to me with the family members who's passed away, she recognized that there was a lady there who she didn't know, but later she was explaining to us what she looked like, and we figured out that it was like our aunt, who we really didn't know very well, but she came to visit
Yeah.
at the same time.
Oh,
She was
cool,
kind of
cool.
mad at me when she came because I didn't have a clean room. So she was kind of at me.
Yeah, that was the advice, was for her to clean her room.
Cool, cool. So, Monica, I mean, what's it like just being able to, I mean, do you sort of, there's obviously a very close connection between you and your sister, and even just, you know, mention the idea that, like, kids choose their parents. Obviously, kids choose, like, we as souls, you know, just an idea, don't have to believe anything. Like, we choose our soul families, our siblings, our parents. So, I mean, you guys seem to make quite the team together. What's it like, Monica, like having Maya as a younger sister, to be able to help her learn, and she's helping you learn? What's that like?
Definitely. It's definitely a mutual learning. And I'm just, like, so grateful to have her in my life, because she is literally my best friend in the whole entire world. And it's like I'm down on myself or something, or, you know, just not thinking as positively or as straight as I should. She'll always be there with, like, the perfect advice to, like, get me back on my feet again. And she's just amazing. It's interesting. I think about that a lot, like, how much of an influence we have on each other and how, like, wonderful it is to have her here. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what becomes of this little one, but we're definitely working together, Ellen.
Cool. And Maya, what's it like having an awesome big sister like Monica?
It's amazing. We do many things together. Sometimes we go outside. I ride my bike, and she would read a book. And during the summertime, though, and we would go to the park sometimes, hang out with my hamster, and do plenty of things. She's an amazing sister.
Aw, this is some like high quality family moments right here on Paradigm Shift Radio, folks. That we got going on for you. Cool. All right, well, I will say we only got 10 minutes left on the show, and of course, huge shout out to everybody who's been listening to this live, and those of you listening to it on the future. And with 10 minutes, I just like to be able to get some sort of consensus, but also be able to get some more voices into this conversation. But what do you guys think? I mean, should we do like a little meditation and then give ourselves a couple minutes just to wrap up? And if so, get into our meditation soon.
Yeah, that sounds really good. You're really good at guiding meditations. I'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do that right now, not wasting any time. And that's part of the interesting thing about meditation. It's being able to relax ourselves and become familiar with that state of relaxation, and through practice, actually being able to like get there more efficiently. So, just everybody's cool. Everybody again, thank you for calling in. I'll bring you guys back on after we come back from our meditation. So I'm just going to mute everybody. Thanks again, guys. And just moving along here, thanks, Maya, not wasting any time. And so let's all get nice and comfortable, and we're going to do this meditation, and we're going to have a couple minutes briefly just to wrap things up and say farewell. And we will do a Google Hangout after party, and you'll find the link for that in the live chat and on Facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Radio afterwards. And of course, you can go there to continue the conversation. So awesome stuff here tonight. Again, thank you to everybody. So let's meditate. And the purpose of this meditation, first of all, so let's all just get nice and comfortable. So, all right. So, in terms of meditation, being able to relax our body allows us to be able to get into a place of stillness. And it's within this place of stillness that very interesting thoughts and ideas arise within the mind. And it creates an excellent opportunity for us to be able to observe our mind and to be able to realize that the conscious choice is within our grasp to change our mind in any moment. So as you continue to relax, we're just going to begin with a breath. So gentle inhale through the nose. Gentle inhale. Gentle exhale. And of course, if it's more comfortable for you to breathe through the mouth, that's fine. Gentle inhale. Gentle exhale. Just continue to breathe. I'm just going to reach back and grab my singing bowl. So just continue to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, finding a rhythm. And with each breath, allowing yourself to move more into a place of stillness. Where's that singing bowl? There she is. Got it. So again, gentle inhale. Gentle exhale. Relax your face. Letting go of any extra tension. Relax your shoulders. Relaxing your cheeks. Relax your mouth. Remove the tongue from the top of your mouth. Relax your nose. Relax your eyes. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your ears. Just allow yourself to become more familiar with this place of stillness. And as we begin playing the singing bowl, using the singing bowl as a chance for us to bring our awareness into the present moment. If we notice that our thoughts begin to wander, that's fine. You're welcome to observe them and see where they go. But if you want to practice focus, if you want to practice mindfulness, use the singing bowl or the breath to bring your awareness back to the reality that you can choose to put your mind where you wish to place it in any moment. So again, continue to breathe, and I'll begin playing the singing bowl. You have to excuse the audio, but just imagine being able to feel the vibration of it within you, as if you're in the same physical space of it. Just continuing to breathe. And I'll stop talking, and then just use this opportunity to observe. Observe the mind. Observe your relationship with the mind. So continue to breathe. Continue to relax. Continue to practice your meditation. So just using the awareness of the breath, take a moment here to remember, acknowledge the space that you've created for yourself, with the intention to be able to return to it again over time through practice. Just reconnect with the breath. slowly we begin to bring our awareness back to our physical body, back to where you are sitting. Slowly move your toes and your fingers. When you're ready, bring your awareness back to the room around you. And we'll wrap up the show with 2 minutes left. That was a fun one, and of course, meditation is a practice that we encourage. And of course, if you want to be able to help other people get engaged with meditation, then of course start a Paradigm Shift community where you are and host some open-minded discussion circles and meditation circles, and it's all one and the same, and it's a really easy thing. Anybody can get involved with it, and we want you guys to be able to do that. ParadigmShiftCentral.com is a website. Check out, be inspired, be amongst the awesome global team of people doing stuff, changing the world, building community, and saving the day, one smile at a time. So, going to bring on everybody. Just get them on here, get some
That
final
was
thoughts.
awesome.
Wrap up. There we go.
I
Thank
now
you.
have a meditating cat as well.
What? Sick.
Thanks to
Nice.
you. Yeah, I looked down. I became aware of my surroundings. I looked down. She's laying next to me with her feet in the air, and she goes, "Row!" It was the
Meditation for animals. Whoa, that's there's
Excellent.
a market there. Got to tap into that one. Stay tuned.
You got a
Special bonus
market for
content.
everything.
Cool. How was Monica and Maya? How was that for you guys?
Good.
It was good, but I was going crazy on her wheels, so it was hard to concentrate.
The important. Sorry, go ahead, Maya. What's that?
We have to go into a different room.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I will say, for everybody listening, the thing with meditation, if you are more relaxed than after you began your meditation, then you accomplish meditation. Like, if a simple way to look at it is a chance to be able to relax, so physically, and be able to expand the mind mentally. And we'll be able to wrap up the show with 20 seconds left. Again, Facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio. You'll find the link for the after party hangout, and you'll be able to join us and continue the conversation there. Be able to listen to the show, find it on YouTube, check out all the stuff at the main website. And everybody here who's with me live, join us in saying farewell to the internet. So, bye, internets. Bye, internet. Thank you for listening. See you in the
Thank
after
you for
party.
having us.
All right, okay. Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye.
That's all.
Chris, say bye. I didn't hear you say bye yet.
That's all y'all fake.
That's all, y'all. So, all right. See you guys in the future.
Namaste.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Paradigm Shift Radio. If you would like to connect with people where you are and continue the conversations further, then check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com/buttons to order your supply of shift buttons to share with people to help invite them to this global project while also helping make new friends and building local community where you are. Shift buttons are tools to hack the matrix and tap into the synchronistic nature of reality to accelerate our collective awakening. Enter the promo code PSR into your order to receive additional bonus buttons to your supply. Thank you again, and one love.